You're listening to the Journey Podcast. Can exploring the Akashic Records deepen your understanding of energy healing and enhance your well-being? Stay tuned for more details. Hi, I'm Petra Brunbauer, and with decades of experience with sadness, pain, anxiety, and stress, I finally figured out how to leave all that behind. And this podcast shows you how to break free permanently so you can reclaim your sanity and find the self-esteem and energy to go after the life you desire. With real talk about mental health, holistic healing, and the tough journey of coming out the other end. This is the Journey Podcast. Welcome to today's episode. Today we explore the fascinating topic of the Akashic Records and its connection to energy healing. Taking a grounded approach to healing and well-being, we dive into the exploration of ancient wisdom intertwined with practical insights. Our guest shares her expertise on the Akashic Records and how accessing this energetic realm can support healing and personal growth. We discuss the significance of energy healing techniques and how they can be integrated into everyday life for enhanced well-being. Throughout the conversation, we draw on ancient wisdom as a source of inspiration and guidance, highlighting its relevance in modern times. Patty Oliver is a transformational energy healer and spiritual advisor. For the past 13 years, she has helped clients around the world align to their soul blueprint and manifest abundance by clearing karma in their Akashic record and teaching them to balance their chakras and manage their energy field. She offers private soul coaching with your spirit guides and has also created an online course on how to access your own Akashic record for personal insight, guidance, and self-healing. Patty is a regular columnist for Sovereign magazine, answering reader questions about energy healing and soul empowerment. She has contributed to a multi-author book, Intuitive, Speaking Her Truth, which is available on Amazon and has a forthcoming Akashic Record Oracle card deck. Here is my interview with Patty Oliver. Hi, Patty. It's so great to have you on the podcast today. I've been looking forward to getting to chat with you because the Akashic Records and energy healing is such an interesting topic for holistic healing. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. This is a topic that we have not talked about before, so I'm really looking forward to finding out more. And do you want to share a little bit about yourself and your own story for starters?
Absolutely. Well, I never set out to be an energy healer. It was never a conscious choice, especially in something called the Akashic Records, which I had to learn about myself in my journey. It all started about 15 years ago now, where I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I had 2 young kids. And I was married. It wasn't the happiest of marriages, but I was married. And before that, I had been widowed. So I definitely had my challenges in love life and self-worth and self-confidence and all of those areas that I think a lot of us struggle with. When I received the diagnosis, it just really dawned on me that I need to make myself happy here. Life is short, and this is a wake-up call. And I did look at it as a wake-up call. And I'm like, I have to start making myself happy. I can't rely on other people to do it. I can't rely on my relationships to do it. And how am I going to go about doing that? And for me, while I was soul searching during chemotherapy and surgery, I decided that for me, I really needed to have a career again. I had had a career in advertising, but I didn't love it. It wasn't my final thing that I ever wanted to do. I was really passionate about having my own business, creating a nurturing, healing environment for others. And so I decided to actually become a skincare professional, an esthetician. So I went back to school after I had surgery, after I had chemo, and went to night school for a year and opened a skincare spa in the small town where I still live. And it was then like 3 to 4 weeks later after I opened that I was introduced to energy healing in the form of Reiki. And I didn't know what either of those were at the time. But I had received a call. It was late one night, and it was an invitation to a networking event. And it seemed out of left field. And I thought, I had all these reasons to not go. But I thought, this is too strange the way this came in. I think the universe wants me to go. So I'm going to go. It was very last minute. And there was only a handful of us there. And it was there that I met this energy healer. And I thought, I don't even know what energy healing is. And what is Reiki? And they said, well, I use my hands to call in universal energy to put into your physical body to create healing. And I thought, that's the craziest thing I ever heard. Really? And I said, yeah. So I said, well, I'll have a short treatment. Why not? And I was highly skeptical. But the next day, I was blown away with how good I felt. I felt lighter. I felt happier. Was having some residual pain from the chemo and the surgery. That was gone. I just couldn't believe it. And I thought, oh my goodness, I have to do this. I have to add this to my skincare treatments. I already have someone on the table for a nice relaxing treatment. Why would I not want to do something like add energy healing? So I sought out certification in level 1. It started there many years ago. And I started adding in energy healing. And my clients were getting the same amazing results that I did. So that's really what started my journey in energy healing.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And what a journey you have had, and the personal challenges that you have worked through and healed through as well. And I think that happens to many practitioners, is that they end up doing what they do for something that they went through, a crisis they mastered, or a personal challenge that they had to heal through. So yeah, wow, that sounds fantastic. Spa treatment and Reiki treatment at the same time is an amazing combination.
It was pretty amazing. And, the more I did the energy work, the more intuitive I became, which I know I was. And then it slowly led to more and more energy healing work. I really had to make a decision because I couldn't do both. And I thought, this feels like the right thing for me to do. And so I eventually sold off the skincare and did solely energy work, which was a big risk. But as I leaned into that, I would, as part of my healing treatments, I would start sharing with people things I was feeling, things that I was sensing, and they really connected with it. And they were having some interesting experiences themselves. And then one day I realized that the trouble that, in particular, this one woman had come to me for actually started in a past life. It was just something I knew intuitively, and that was new. And so I investigated that because I'm a researcher at heart. I love to know why. And I'm like, what is this past life thing? So I started doing some research, and I came upon the term Akashic Records, and the rest is history. I'm like, this is what I need to be doing.
Wow. I love how that path opened up for you and kind of just took you down that road, and that you had sort of the trust and the courage to follow that and end up here. So wonderful. Now, I am sure that many listeners are wondering what this Akashic Record is. So do you want to explain a little bit about what the Akashic Records are, and what do people do with that, or how do they find them? How does that work? And maybe a little bit around that.
Sure, absolutely. So the Akashic Records, you can think of it as an energetic database. It exists at the fifth dimension, and it holds all the information about everything in our universe. And every soul, every living being has its own personal Akashic Record. And it's actually a part of each and every one of us. It can be accessed intuitively, and it holds all the information about your soul, how your soul was designed to create abundance, your gifts, your experiences, and it also holds something called your karma. And karma, lots of people have different definitions of what it is. A lot of people think that it's punitive or very negative in nature, but what it really is a way for us to course correct while we're here, because Karma is really just the energy of choices that we've made in past lives that didn't align to our highest good, that didn't serve our highest good, and is in need of being balanced out by a positive choice. And it's not judgmental, either it serves you or it doesn't, which is very individual. And so laws of karma say that a negative choice will persist until balanced out by a positive choice, no matter how long or how many lifetimes that might take. So if we pass away in a lifetime and have created karma, then we will come back with similar energies or similar circumstances to try again. So that ends up being all of the repeating patterns in our life that usually are like money problems or relationship drama, family drama, health problems. All of these things that we feel we can't overcome usually has its basis in karma. And so that can be accessed either by someone like me who has done it and can access it for you, but I also teach others how to access it for themselves. And it's really practicing your intuitive muscle that we all have, but we tend to not really follow our own insight, our own intuition. We tend to dismiss it a lot of times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fascinating as I'm listening to you describe that. So, wow. Now, where do we connect the Akashic Records and healing? I'm very curious because it sounds to me a little bit like when you discovered the Akashic Records, it also helped your own healing journey a lot. And so, where does that connect? How can people use the Akashic Records or access them for healing?
Oh, it's a direct correlation, in my opinion. The Akashic Records, it answers the questions why. Why is this taking place? Why is this happening? And how can I change it? And our healing is directly correlated to our ability to make new choices and empower ourselves over our circumstances, over our limiting beliefs that we all have. I had them included, right? And like that, and it is those negative patterns, the negative mindset, emotional triggers that we all have that we tend to repeat because we're not sure how to rise above them because most of it is subconscious or unconscious. And then we tend to repeat because making new choices can be scary. We want to please others. We want positive feedback. If we start saying no or start taking our power back, as I say, sometimes that upsets family members or spouses, or sometimes we need to leave a career that is no longer serving us and we know it, but we fear the change that that might bring. But as you start to see how you keep yourself in negative patterns, it gives you an opportunity to make a new change. And energy healing can be conducted in the chakras, because that's usually where those energies are held, giving you an opportunity to make a new choice. But it's really important that you do. That's how you change your life. Because physical healing is also directly related because everything is energy. And if we allow a negative energy to go on long enough, it can start to affect us. Well, at any level, really, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or physically, because energy doesn't leave, it just hangs out waiting for you to make a new choice.
Yeah. And I'm curious how the energy healing Akashic Records, how does that integrate with some of the things that might be working with today? Like, for example, you worked with traditional medicine as you were healing your breast cancer. And how does that integrate with this energy work? And what would you say to people who are a little bit skeptical at this point? They're trusting their doctor, they're trusting their medications. How does all that come together to make sort of one whole piece?
Absolutely. Energy work is highly complementary to anything that you're already doing. And when people do come to me, and if they are seeing counselors, therapists, medical doctors, I say, you need to keep working with them because I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a mental therapist or anything like that. I'm an energy healer. And so Energy healing can really get to the root cause of an issue, in my opinion, much faster, oftentimes, than some other traditional therapies. And then once you know what the root cause is and why it's happening, then you're empowered to make change. And once you allow for that healing to take place energetically, that really brings calm to the physical body. It allows the natural healing mechanisms of the physical body to kick in and to work much more efficiently, in my opinion, making every other modality that you might be using work that much better.
Yeah, I like that we can have everything sort of complementary to each other because that means we're covering a lot more bases when it comes to our own healing journey. So I think that's very, very important. I also love the idea of energy healing because we're adding another dimension to the healing journey, which is also very important. And how can people that come to you, how can they access these Akashic records? Is there a certain method they have to follow or they have to do a meditation or something? How do people access these records to help with their healing journey?
Absolutely. I do teach an intuitive process. I do have an online course that offers a process for doing just that. And it is through meditation, through asking questions. And I think one of the hardest things for us to do is to receive openly what we're being told, what we're being given in the mind's eye. We all are capable of receiving intuitive information, whether it's an image that you see or something that you might hear or something that you might feel in your body. All of those are signals that the soul is sending to the physical body that needs attention. And I think that as we piece that together bit by bit and learn to trust why things are happening, why you're receiving that strange message, just like that phone call I got out of left field. I could have dismissed it. I could have, and then maybe if I did go to the meeting, I could never have followed up on it and just left it. But something kept prompting me in a subtle way. It's very subtle usually to keep investigating that path. And so when you access it through an intuitive process and you receive insight, you can start to slowly take action, change your thought patterns, work on your emotional triggers, release yourself from energetic bindings that we can get ourselves into as souls in a human body, and slowly start to change our life. And then we start manifesting more of what we want, not more of what we don't want.
Yeah, I think we're very good at saying what we don't want and not so good at really expressing what we do want in our lives. So that's a really great point. Now, we talked a little bit about limiting beliefs, and you just talked about some of the things other people can address with the Akashic Records. So, what are some of the biggest things that you observe with your clients that are in the path of their own healing? What kind of makes it difficult to do your own healing?
Well, I think it's being open first to the information, saying, this is the root cause that I'm sharing with you. Do you recognize that? And hopefully the answer is yes. I do recognize that I am doing that. I think that sometimes we tend to look outward, what's happening to us. And we need to be willing, I think, to say, yes, that is happening to me. And I have been making this choice, but I don't have to be making this choice anymore. I can empower myself to make a new choice. And then everyone else has free will around me to respond to my new choice as they choose.
Yeah.
My choices don't have to affect theirs. Theirs don't have to affect mine. So I think that's the first step, as being willing to say, yes, I can make a new choice. And even though it's scary and hard, it's very, very possible. And then be willing to be uncomfortable with the unknown, kind of like you said in the beginning. It's like, well, you followed those breadcrumbs, right? You leaned into the energy healing and didn't know. I didn't know. I did not know where it would lead, but I thought I wouldn't be misled. I have to follow this, even if I'm scared. They say, do it scared, right? Do it scared. And you always have time to course correct and make a new choice. And everything is doable and fixable. If something does come awry, you can fix it. You can do it.
Yeah. And I'm very curious at this point, can anyone access their Akashic records, or is this something some people can do, others will need a guide like yourself, or can anyone access these records?
Well, technically, anyone can. It's an inherent part of you, it's an inherent part of your DNA, and it serves as a driver for all of your experiences that you're going to have and have had. It's all there. We come in with everything we need to heal all of our karma and to move forward. It can be difficult, and we live in a very noisy world right now. Right? Where lots of distractions, the phone, the social media, the pressures of society that we tend to cut off our own intuition. We dismiss what we might receive because we're in a hurry, or we think we want one thing when in fact you really need to heal this and this and this first before, or maybe what you're looking for isn't really serving you. I mean, I started out in skincare, but apparently the universe felt that energy healing was going to be more abundant for me. So I didn't fight it. I mean, I fought it for a while, but I stopped fighting it. And when you stop fighting, that's where the ease comes in. But if you're challenged with listening to your own intuition, or you're frustrated, or you don't want to see or can't see what might be the real root cause, reaching out to someone who does that work is certainly a very appropriate and acceptable way to do it. I've been doing it for people for 13 years.
Wow. And it sounds to me from everything that you have spoken about that your journey with energy healing and with the Akashic Records has been quite transformative and very healing for you. Now, what do you see when your clients begin working on this with you? Does anything change in their lives? Do you witness any transformations for them as well?
Oh my goodness, yes. It usually takes a series of readings or times because healing is a never ending journey. It's not a one and you're done because our karma is very pervasive. It touches all areas of our life. So it just takes time to unwind that so that you can wind up something new. And you want to allow for that. And everybody's very different with taking new action. And I love it because I'll get on repeated calls with clients every couple of weeks, every couple of months, whatever the interval is. And I can first actually like see it because we do it over Zoom. I can see their energy is better and lighter and they're smiling. And at some point, for everybody, at some point, they make that pivot, they make that paradigm shift, and they're like, oh my goodness, all these things are coming in for me now. Or I finally said no, and it wasn't nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be. And there was some pushback, but you know what? I was okay. They see their own empowerment. I mean, it's beautiful. And I'm witness to that. And I get to hear all their amazing stories. They're just so proud of themselves, and it wasn't as scary as they thought, or whatever.
Yeah. Wow, that sounds amazing what you offer. So let's explain to viewers a little bit how they could work with you. So if this episode has aligned with them, they like what they're hearing, how can they work with you? Do you offer any programs or services that they can connect with you on?
Absolutely. Like I said, I just created an online course of self-healing through Akashic Records. It's called Live a Soul-Powered Life. And I titled it that because when you, again, you let your soul lead the way, life becomes easier and more abundant. And so I teach you how to heal yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically using the Akashic Records. I teach you how to access your Akashic Record and how to ask questions and how to ask for healing, and then working on the mindset to support your newfound empowerment, working on those triggers. I mean, it's all wrapped together. It's not just one. Right? We're very holistic that way. So that's available. And then I have a supportive community where I can answer questions. And it's a self-paced course, can take as long as you need to complete the course. And then I also do offer private soul coaching. It's called Healing and Manifesting with Your Spirit Guides. And so you can work one-on-one with me. It's a 6-month transformational program where I call in your spirit guides and I do the heavy lifting. I access your Akashic record and say, this is what's happening. This is what we need to clear. Here's new action you can take to support your transformation. And bit by bit over time, we conduct healing. And then not just personally, but also in your business if you have one, because that's energy. Everything is energy. And then I teach you how to manifest according to your soul blueprint. And then we work on taking new action to bring in a new result in your life.
Wow, those sound like amazing programs. And Patty has also written a chapter in a book called Intuitive, Speaking Her Truth. And she is also going to be writing a column in Sovereign Magazine where readers can write in and Patty will answer their questions. So there are some more resources on how you can connect with Patty as well. And you can find her book online, and we will be linking to all of those offerings in the show notes so that you can find out how you can connect with Patty and share her resources as well. Well, this has been another incredible episode, and I really hope our listeners have enjoyed our journey into the Akashic Records and energy healing as much as I have. It has been a pleasure having you on the podcast today, Patty. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today.
Thank you, Petra. It's been a complete joy to be here and share the wisdom of the Akashic Records.
Yeah, I've learned so much in the last half hour. So yeah, I really, truly appreciate it. And thank you so much, Patty, and take care.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen in. If you enjoy the Journey podcast, please support us by subscribing, sharing on social media, and leaving us a review. We appreciate you. And you can find more of The Journey on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and our website, thejourney.com. Sending you love and courage, and see you next time.